Hello and welcome back to our podcast, Perform Beyond, with me, your host, Louise Brogan. And today I'm joined by three members of our VPS team who are going to discuss logistics and administration for our clients. And I am really looking forward to this conversation because I want to learn more about what actually happens with the learning admin behind the scenes. So guys, if you could introduce yourselves and tell everybody your name and what your role is within the business, that would be wonderful. If we start with yourself, Colin.
Hi, good afternoon, Louise. Hi, Priyesh. Hi, Pontus, again for today. My name is Colin Lauder. I'm the operations manager with VPS. Currently, I'm responsible for the delivery of a fully outsourced learning and development program with a financial services client in Dublin.
Hi everyone.
And yourself, Priyesh.
Sorry, a bit ahead. Hi, I'm Priyesh. I'm head of our shared service center in Barcelona, and I also look after the data analytics team for our clients.
Excellent. And Pontus.
So my name is Pontus Nygren. I am based here in Barcelona. I'm managing the service center we have here and working with basically all the customers we have here in EMEA.
Yeah, I think today we're going to really see a lot more detail about how international the business is, which is brilliant. So who would like to start our conversation today about logistics and admin? Where will we start, guys?
Well, 20 years ago this year, we set up a service center in Barcelona. So this year, we celebrate 20 years of a successful service center. So yeah, we've been in Barcelona for a long time now. We started with one of our automotive customers where they wanted to centralize training and administration services from across each of their European locations. And they obviously spoke 17 languages. So we needed to have a center where we could have native speakers speaking 17 different languages. In Barcelona, we're lucky enough to find these sorts of people who are there either as maybe students on a holiday for a year, looking for time out, sort of thing, or people just speaking the different languages. Obviously, the weather is great in Barcelona, so we tend to find lots of people willing to work out there. So yeah, so we started off centralizing their processes. So you can imagine in 15 different countries, everybody had their own different way of doing things, which obviously added to cost and different challenges that they may have had. So we brought that all in. We've centralized all the processes. We're using the same tools, so for each customer, and we're also, since we're all in the same room in the center, we can share experiences, tell each other what's coming or what's happening in each of the countries, and this all helps bring the efficiency to the customer, because it seems like a seamless approach. So yes, so we've started with that, and then as time has gone on, we've onboarded technology customers, other automotive customers, and banking customers as well. So I think Pontus, we're going to talk a little bit more about the banking customer and how we support them out of Barcelona.
Well, before we get into that, I didn't realize you saying I could send my daughter to work there for a year, then Priyesh on her year out with her Spanish.
I think that's a great idea. Can I just add, we should say that Priyesh and Pontus were not around 20 years ago when we started.
I'm trying to think what I was doing years ago.
Yesterday was actually my 19-year anniversary.
Wow.
Oh, was it really? Wow, congratulations.
Not by that much.
It's kind of amazing that you're covering 17 languages. That's very impressive. So Pontus, give us a little bit of detail about what it is that you do over there in gorgeous sunny Barcelona, please.
Yeah, so just to build a little bit on what Priyesh just said, from the very beginning, we basically had one major customer, and the services that we provided were mostly back office and help desk support. But over the years, we have built on, increased the services that we provide, and We have now, for example, a group of project managers working out of the center. We have tier 2 LMS support, so that's sort of the technical second level support. And we have IT, we have a number of different roles that we didn't have in the past. So together we have basically for this financial banking customer, the services that we provide are, again, the back office and training admin support, the learner care. The end users contacts us for support with the learning management system. We do project management out of here, and we also conduct all the planning activities of the courses or the sessions that take place.
Yeah, I think the learner care is really important. So if someone is sitting in their chair in, say, Dublin, Ireland, and they need support, that they're reaching out to somebody who may be based with you in Barcelona. Is that how it works, Pontus?
Absolutely correct. So we have native speakers, Irish and UK English, and we support telephone inbound calls as well as emails.
And what is the balance of, onshore, nearshore, and offshore support that you offer to those clients?
That's a really good question, because the type of work that we perform for this specific customer, about 50% is sort of back office or LMS work, where we upload content or perform certain curricula or pull reporting. So there we don't specifically need native language support. So 50% of the agents or administrators are actually offshore.
Are these the people that are supplying you with all of your data, Priyesh, that we talked about in an earlier podcast episode?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these people, while they're obviously offshore, we're using the same workflow management tool set. So regardless if you're local on-site at the customer, or whether you're in Barcelona or you're offshore, you're using the same tool set. So it actually doesn't make any difference where you're based, and the data is flowing, from the same system to the data analysts for them to create these reports on help desk statistics, compliance, training activity, and all of that sort of thing. So it all flows seamlessly because we're using the same workflow management tool set that we build and customize depending on the customer's needs and how their business works, because obviously no two businesses work exactly the same way. So the workflow management tool that we have also we adapt and customize to that need.
Yeah. And Colin, you would be based locally on the ground, isn't that correct?
That's correct, Louise. And just picking up with what the boys have said, the learner support and the admin support is an integral part of our outsourced service with our financial services client. And I have to say, in terms of this year, even going back to last year, the feedback that we've got about our learning administration support and our team that's offshore, obviously, has been exceptional with our financial services client. There's a great collaboration on an ongoing daily basis between all the parties, and there's a very close contact between Pontus's team and the team that I work with in Dublin. So that service is just a continuous process. We have our challenges and operations, but that's what we're there to do. That's what we're getting paid for. But it's seamless most of the time. Can't say that it's seamless all the time. I would be telling lies. But it is an integral part, as I say, of the service provision for our outsourced client.
And in terms of the data that is getting collected, Priyesh, how do you use that to actually steer the learning for the client?
So I guess there's multiple ways. I mean, we've got the reporting that we do sort of falls into two categories: operational reporting, where we look at class size management, ensuring the right people are on the right courses. How are we doing with the classes coming up in the next couple of weeks? And that MI reporting is fed through to Pontus and his team, so they can also then campaign the right people to ensure that the classes are full, because they know based on the LMS data who needs to do what when certain compliance training are expiring on their curriculum, so they can identify those people and get them on the right training. The other part we have is obviously the strategic part of reporting, where we're looking in more in depth of the data, whether we're looking at assessment data, whether we're looking at individuals and trends of training. So all of that data is then fed into the MI, and we work with the local team, whether that's Colin or Maureen in the operations side as well. And we really look at that data, and we really look for trends, and we share that back with Colin on a regular basis. And Colin has then discussions with the customer, which may lead to developing different sets of training. If we look at assessment data, we may be looking at data down to question level, for example. So, if we see certain questions are being consistently answered incorrectly, there's obviously a knowledge gap. So then that determines whether we do some more training in that area, or whether we do something different. And that's something Colin takes on board and discusses with our local client.
So you mentioned our colleague Maureen there. I've just realized this is the first in our entire podcast series that Maureen is not part of.
Yes, I'm glad to see this is an all-male team this time. Maureen's doing a fabulous job. You can tell her that I said that. But yeah, I mean, as you've seen from our team so far, Louise, on the series to date, it's we're clearly right across Europe. We've got a reach, as I said on a previous podcast, worldwide. We have a global reach and a global footprint.
Yes.
And this whole area of learning administration is exactly the same. We're covering right across a number of industries. And whilst I'm talking specifically about financial services in Ireland, it applies. And I know Pontus is working with quite a range of clients across the patch in Europe. So, this service provision is, as I said earlier, a major component of what we do. A very important component. Takes away the headaches, the administration headaches from our clients in all the areas that Pontus and Priyesh have talked about. And in fact, I think that some of the areas we probably haven't touched on. There's not many of them, and we've touched on scheduling, we've touched on learner care, we've touched on managing the learning management system as well. But there's so much, and reporting obviously as well. But there's so much in terms of client requirement around administrative support. The guys do a great job, I have to say.
Pontus, do you have what kind of a size of a team do you have over there in Barcelona?
So in total in the center, there's around 40 people. On this specific project, we are 5.
So you've always got room for my daughter to come and join you for a season.
Shoot me a DM.
And no. Sorry, Colin, you're going to say something there.
I was going to say no pressure then, Pontus, to find another opening for Miss Brogan.
Well, she's going to be studying physics, so I'm not sure that fits.
Just wanted to comment on what Colin just said. I mean, in the end, the services that we provide from the center, it doesn't really matter in what industry the client is in.
Yes.
In the end, the training administration is more or less the same, but it's obviously tweaked with the specifics for each customer. But definitely these 20 years of experience we have has definitely leaned out the processes, and best practices are applied. So I feel like we're in a really good state at the moment.
Yeah, that's a key point, Pontus, and certainly our clients in financial services, it was one of the sort of seal the deal events for them in terms of the learning administration and the services that we provide and the pain that we could take away from them. And that, that was a really big selling point for us in terms of winning that contract in financial services, where we're able to showcase the Barcelona Service Centre, and they were really impressed with that.
I think that is a really nice segue into our final podcast episode, which we will be recording shortly, guys, where we're going to talk about really all the advantages that outsourcing brings to the clients. So if you are just tuning into this episode, make sure you go back and listen to all of the episodes, and then you can hear what Maureen sounds like as well. And make sure to subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss our final episode, which we will be sharing soon. And do check out our LinkedIn company page as well. Thank you so much, guys. Really great to see an insight in behind the scenes of how the learners are being supported, and really appreciate that insight. Thank you.
Thanks, Louise.
Thank you very much.
You.
Bye.